Welcome to Wiretapped Truths. We're back to the essence of the show, which is the recap episodes. But the show, the podcast took on a life of its own, and we're in touch with a lot of people from the actual show. So we're looking forward to bringing you as many interviews as we can, and we got some lined up. So we're getting this show back to back for you guys. It's been a roller coaster ride, and it's been pretty fun, if I may say so myself. Just the feedback that we got on the uh, the love that we have for the show. You know, we brought Miss Donna Adrian Gibson came on, and she made a few calls, and she's excited. She's the honorary executive producer for the show.
Right.
Today we're going to do season 2, episode 4. I'm joined by Mr. Wiretap Truths Leland and our resident comedian Jack Simmons. And so, uh, yeah, if you guys want to say something before we open the show, and then Jack, if you could bring us to the opening scene and stuff, if you want.
Yeah, I just want to say, hey, I'm Mr. Wiretap Truce, as my team has deemed me. We're glad to be here. We just cracked 90,000 views as a whole on our channel. So it's only been about 5 months. We're near right at 100,000 views in a little under 5 months almost. So just want to say thank you for all the feedback, all the support, all the comments, all the subscriptions, all the new people that may watch it but may not subscribe. We appreciate all the feedback. So feel free to tap in with us, even if you want to be a guest on the show for some of our Wiretap Truth random episodes that we plan and that we've done in the past. Just feel free to reach out to Jesse, reach out to Jack, reach out to us on our channel, and we'd be glad to have you. We're glad to be here.
My name is Jack. I have a really big dick, so let's get started. Um, I love season 2. We're gonna get back to it. It's been it's because it's been like a few weeks, so I feel like it's, you know what I mean. It's been a while since we talked about it, so I'll get you back up to like a little recap, Um, in the previous episodes, the investigation into the Sabakas and the ports has sort of taken on a new life of its own. We have a detail being set up by Valchek, who is pissed off at Burrell because Burrell sent him a bunch of humps in the previous episodes. Meanwhile, Jimmy has joined Bunk and Freeman and this new character, B.D. Russell, into investigating the deaths of the now 14 mysterious women that have that have gone missing. No, sorry, that have died in the container. Um, and that may or may not tie back in with Frank Sabaka's own, the investigation into the Sabakas. And also, Bunk is now looking for Omar. He's who has now joined forces with two badass women that you know.
They really
I
about
love
it.
those two characters.
They about the action.
Yeah, yeah. Very Tarantino esque. Their characters. Like, um. So yeah, that's my little like previously on the wire. Uh,
And
now.
oh yeah, and I mean, note he's joined like involuntarily. Let's just say for people that don't know what's going on in the show, kind of thing. He's not necessarily joining forces with them because I'm part of the team. He's trying to stay attached somewhere to still being a cop. So
Yeah, exactly. He wants to get back into the life of it. And also, this case is pretty fascinating and it's very
for sure.
sad. So he feels like, wants to get into it for them too. And we start off this episode, it's called Hard Cases with Frank Zapaka, um, staring off into the I don't know if it's the sound. What is that body of water? I mean, I know it's the Atlantic Ocean, but I don't know if it's I guess it's the harbor, right?
I
That
think
he's
so.
looking of. Okay, we have to
Yeah.
get back to you on that. Do you
The
know,
sound
just
of water sounds good to me.
sound? Well, I know we have the Long Island, but it's not the Bolt. I think it's the harbor they mentioned. Anyway,
So yeah,
it's
and it's
a
a great
early.
shot to the open. Like
Oh,
it's
it's
a great.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love these. That's one of the reasons I love the season 2 is because of like the look of it all, the ocean, the that whole aesthetic is really nice too,
Yeah.
especially when done in winter time, and it has a lot of those like establishment shots that open up a scene where it's just like of the city in a distance, and it looks really great. They match like the tone of the season really well. Um and so this especially like this shot, because it's dusk or early morning. Frank is joined by Nikki, who's kind of like busting his balls and is basically saying like, why am I here at like 6:30 in the morning before a shift
He said
starts?
the view is picturesque, is
Yeah.
what it
Mhm.
This is the way he delivers it. He's so like sarcastic, like this boy is picturesque.
is.
um he's pissed off because he has to wake up early, but Frank is found out about the cameras that were stolen by him and Niggy, and he's basically saying like, look, you're making too much of a scene. We're trying to keep a low profile. We're trying to improve the ports. I got all this business coming up. The last thing I need is you and my dipshit son to be fucking stealing cameras off the trucks. um and so he's basically just saying like, why don't you keep it down just a little bit.
But Nikki is fucked up though. Like he said, man, I've only worked 5 or 6 days this month.
Yeah,
What the fuck do you want me to do? Like I gotta
right.
gotta make some money. You
Yeah,
know.
no, he's and it makes sense too. He's got a kid, he's got a wife that he's trying to like get a house for. And also Frank, this scene shows like the loyalty and trust that the people have towards each other,
Mm-hmm.
because Frank asks him, he's like, who's your inside man? And he says like, oh,
Yep.
you don't know. And they're like, fuck you, I'm not
Yeah,
no
see.
snitch. He's not
Johnny
gonna give up.
50.
Yeah, he's not gonna
I
give up
wanted
Johnny 50 in
I
the
wanted to ask
movie.
y'all, did he mean inside? He meant inside man on the docks or inside man who got the cameras flipped already?
I
He
No,
think
was
I
definitely
think he
talking
meant,
about
on the
the
docks.
docks, right?
It's Johnny 50. He
yeah.
said
Okay.
Johnny 50.
Okay.
That's who Ziggy talks to in the previous thing.
Yeah.
He's like, pick me
And
a winner,
also too,
Johnny.
how Frank was talking, bro. He loves this shit. Like he
Yeah.
loves the docs. He loves
Yes.
being responsible for it. Like just the way he was speaking, he was like, that's my fucking town, man. I love it. A town that's
Right.
got ships. Like he loves what he does, kind of thing.
No, that's a great catch, because it's like that's kind of Frank's whole philosophy, is he like aspires to greatness. He's got a lot of ambition, and he sees a lot of potential for like for the unions. Um Especially like there's a scene later on of when he's at the end that I'll get back into, and he's looking at like a painting of like Baltimore, and he sees like he wants the city to become more prosperous and his life to improve.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of get that sense, especially later on in the season, when he gives that speech about like how we used to build stuff in this country.
Yep.
And especially if you're growing up around that and you see like industry leave during your lifetime, it's gonna you're gonna try your best to bring it back to what it was, even if that's impossible. It's like the industry left, but like you still have a job, and it's like they're left chasing after scraps. So it's like his whole like kind of ambition kind of ties into, I feel like, the docs and like wanting to improve it.
And like he said to Nikki too, when Nikki was like, "Well, shit, no fucking clue. Your pockets are fucking fat." He's like, "Well, shit, it ain't about me." I
Right.
like that little part too. Like he's saying, like, yeah, but it's not about me. I'm not out here splurging. Like I'm just trying to put this money up so that we can be stronger here in the union. Like
Right.
that was his whole epicenter, his whole core was
No,
just to make the docs better for more work. Like that's all he was trying to do.
yeah, he really I mean, that's kind of like why he's similar to Jimmy McNulty, because he has like a passion for his union in the same way Jimmy has a passion for like the work of being a cop, a detective. And he like does it because he actually sees like potential in it. And he's trying to do everything he can to keep that potential. That's why he does work with the Greeks, because he needs that extra help. And they can,
The Union is his tribe, as McNulty will put it.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And it's almost similar to like Gus Haynes in season 5, how he feels that way about the newspaper industry. All these people have like ambition in their own fields, and so that's how the episode starts, called Hard Cases. Um, And the opening quote is one of my favorite quotes. It's "If I hear the music, I'm gonna dance" by Kima.
Kima Gregg, Sanja
And,
San.
she comes back later on. We'll get into that context. Directed by Elodie Keene and written by David Simon. And we come back, okay, because the last episode it ends with we find out that Avon spiked the package that caused 4 overdoses, and I think it's four or five, some 5. Thank you, Leland. This is Biden. That's why we all need to come together because I don't remember the exact numbers, but yeah, 5 overdoses, and we have um Levy right alongside Avon and doing a great job of like negotiating with the detectives and being like, hey, he's gonna offer up who did the who laced the package that caused all of these overdoses. But it was him, obviously, and he's this is Avon's master plan, and pretty ingenious plan, I have to say too. You know, of basically framing Tillman and
Well, they caught on pretty quick. You know, I mean, the guard, they're willing just to play the game.
no, yeah,
So,
that
like,
yeah,
they're like the guy, the other guard tells him, like, you know, I bet you it was Avon who sold those, and then he's like, well, we deal with what we have, right?
Yeah.
So,
right.
like they Avon didn't. I mean, he did, but they know he's responsible,
Yeah.
right? It's not.
No,
It's
of
like an
course they
open
know
secret.
it.
They're assuming. I think the black cop is assuming. I think the other
Yeah.
cops, I don't really think they're ranking Avon's level of importance like the other cop was. It was almost like they were like, yeah, we can't prove it. Let's not even worry about it. But a black cop is like, yeah, y'all don't even know who this is, kind of thing. Like, y'all, do you even
Right.
know who you like or who we're talking about right here? Like, no,
I
they're not even privy to it.
I kind of read it different. I kind of read it as they're like, yeah, but we can't prove it. Let's go with what we could prove.
Right.
You know.
I get that because I mean that one cop, special Reynolds, knows right away.
Right.
But I think it's more they just want it to go away. They don't care how.
Yeah, yeah,
They
that's
just
what I
want the
mean.
whole thing. They don't want it to be exposed, like that they allowed all these overdoses and that they're allowing all these drugs to be smuggled in there. So even later on when they have that meeting, um, with like the assistant attorney general, he's basically saying to them like, look, we just want to make this whole thing go away and this is an easy out and we have this Tillman guy, so they're willing to play the game. But it's pretty fucking slick. Later on we find out Levy has him have a deal of like getting 1 year out of a 7-year sentence. And
Ridiculous.
yeah, uh
And
you
like
know
and
he,
like Buddy said, if you know you can't win the war on drugs in the prison, what the hell you gonna win it at? I thought that was like a really super,
right.
just classic scene, classic little line right there. Because he's right, shit.
Yeah. No, I had that note written down too because it's like they just feel helpless. I mean, they don't want to. That's kind of the same thing with a lot of the departments. They don't want information to be brought out into the public. Like with the serial killer in season 5, they don't want it to be exposed that they don't know what they're doing
Mhm.
because then it would create anarchy. They need to put on the illusion of like control, right? So they can't let it be known. Hey, we're allowing drugs to be smuggled in here because then people are not going to have any faith in them, which they already don't, but they need to, protect their image a little bit. Um, so yeah, Avon scheming right off the bat, and then this is the scene that the next scene is the one that you guys keep talking about, which is hilarious, where McNulty walks right by Rawls. And he just says, Colonel, and he just very nonchalantly, and Rawls just turns around and he's like, "What the fuck?"
Easily a
He
top five moment of mine in the
he
whole
didn't.
series. I'm not lying.
Oh
Like
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you always no, you
he's
always
so ballsy. Like
yeah.
yeah. It's funny too, just how casual he does, and it's all facial expression. He doesn't even say anything, but it's so there's a
Yeah,
lot of like subtle humor in this.
Rose's reaction kind of steals that scene too because it's kind
Yeah,
of like. he
Are
doesn't
you
know how to act. Like
are
he's not
you
even pissed. He's
are
just
you
like
fucking kidding me? What are
he's
you
like
even doing upstairs?
The
He looking like
audacity.
oh,
he's like I'm
what?
confused. Does this guy really got balls that big? To
Yeah.
try to, like,
And
give,
another thing too,
give her a salute?
I meant to mention this in some of the previous episodes of this season. When Jimmy walked past the old black lady that's in homicide, she's like checking him out, like kind
Yeah,
of thing, you
I
know,
think
like
that's and I think that's who Kamal Bostic Smith was talking about.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
that's yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
it's like, damn, Jimmy gets all of the women. He gets all of the looks. It don't matter age, race. It don't matter none of that. Like that must be in his contract. Like every woman has to want me at some point in
Yeah,
time. Like
yeah, she definitely had a little crush on Jimmy. I noticed that.
she
Oh
said,
yeah.
Jimmy.
The way her voice goes up, Jimmy, he gets the ladies. That's
I
for
forgot
sure.
her name. Do you guys remember her name? I want to look.
Darlene.
No,
Is
no,
it?
the actress, the actress.
Oh. Oh, okay. I don't remember. Um, yeah, I'm not sure. But he's really funny in this scene too. Like especially when he goes in to just talk to Bunk and Freeman and he sees Landsman there and he just looks at the red dots. He's like, oof. And, no, it completely was his own fault. And Rawls
Yeah.
just like,
He
"Meh."
said, "Don't you have a job?" He like,
Yeah.
"Oh, actually, I do. Look at your board over there. I got all these bodies hung on your
Yeah.
board."
It's that great smirk too, Um, but essentially Jimmy's fascinated with this case. He wants to get off the boat. He doesn't even really have any reason to be like any he wasn't assigned to this case at all. He's
Nope.
just like this is just a fucking, you know, he wants to get back into it and so he's taking it upon himself to go to evidence control.
And he also hasn't established like, hey, look, I'm tired of the boat yet. Like he hasn't
Right.
voiced it on screen yet. This, like you said, this is just him. Yeah, I do want to get off the boat. I am trying to contribute, but he hasn't
Mhm.
flat out come out and said it to anybody like, fuck, man, I have to work a case. He doesn't say it till later in the season when he's talking to
Yeah.
Buck, but we see now, like, okay, that was really why he was doing everything. Like, I'm fucked up out here. I
Mhm.
gotta get back into something. I need something to give my brain to, my police intellect to.
Right. Yeah, those are Jimmy has a lot of moments of like self-awareness that come on later in the seasons when like he becomes like of course like a lot of the stuff he has a good big heart, of course, and
Mhm.
anyone would care about like 14 dead girls, it's horrible and everything. But at the same time, he this is his passion. That's why he wants to get back into that. And yeah, he hasn't at this point he's just like, look, I just want to do this, but I think he's like convincing himself that he's doing this because he feels bad for screwing over Bunk and Freeman, because now his friends have to get the take after the body, so he figures he might as well help them.
But you know
Uh,
what, too, Jack? Though, before he knew that the case had went over the Bunk and the Freeman, he
mhm.
went to the ME and was talking to him about it, and he was like, "Well, did you tell Cole all this?" And he was like, "Cole's not on the case. It's Bunk and that old guy who ate it." So he was already like,
Right.
before he even knew Bunk and Freeman were back on the case, he was already like still trying to contribute. Like he misses the shit, obviously. So.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, absolutely. Um, and the way they need him too, because Freeman and Bunk have kind of hit a dead end here because nobody's talking and they have like no real evidence of anything yet.
They don't have shit about this
Yeah.
case yet. Like,
It's a dead end. Like they said, there's addresses to and from that don't exist. So
don't
how
go
the fuck are we
nowhere.
gonna find out anything about this case if we don't have any addresses to anything? None of the victims have much in terms of identification. They're picking up scraps like letters and languages they don't understand. It's a they
It's
don't
a
have
shit
shit.
show. They
Yeah,
don't have
it's
shit. They don't
this is
have nothing.
a who done it. And it's like we said earlier, it's brilliant the way that we as the audience know what happens. You know what I mean? Like we've already figured the case out and now it's watching them figure it out themselves. That's
Right.
very like, it's cool. It's like doesn't usually happen that way. Um but also Burrell now since he was blackmailed by Valchek in the previous episode, he wants to become a commissioner. So he's doing what Valchek said. He's getting Daniels back on the case, much to his ego, because as we know, him and Daniels had that feud back in the previous season, and so Daniels is suspicious of why he wants to go back into it, why Burrell would take him back,
And
and
Daniels figures it out pretty quickly. He's like, "Oh,
yeah,
Valchek is the one who asked for me, didn't he?" Yeah.
yeah, he knows that Burrell's not doing this out of the kindness of his own heart,
Yeah,
Um,
he's already on pins and needles, like
mhm,
he asks why, why would you do that, and then he asks again, like why,
yeah,
he already is like, nah, what's going on, and that stare down between him and Burrell is
mhm,
top tier. Like before
yeah,
they even say anything, like you see them looking at each other, it's like that's a great little shot with no words, no nothing.
mhm,
You can feel the tension between the two of them before anybody even speaks. Because Daniel's like, what the fuck am I doing here? What?
yeah.
Why are you even calling me up here right now? I've already made up my mind. Like, I don't even really want to look at you.
Mhm.
So,
A lot of this episode is like that with just like facial acting, it's like
mhm.
it's a lot of subtlety with this episode. But yeah, it's basically like, look, we don't like each other. They have that vibe, but like they need each other at the same time.
Yep.
Daniel wants to get out from like inventory, even though he's already said that he's put in his time to become an attorney.
Yep.
He said he's put in like to get his pension. But Burrell kind of says like, "Hey, if you do this well, we'll give you a major's pension." And
Mhm.
Daniels also negotiates, saying like, "I want this to become like a permanent
I want to
special,
hear it.
special unit." Like, and also he wants to be able to pick his own team.
Let me ask y'all something too. So, like, if his plan was to become a lawyer, did him accepting the hey, I'm gonna accept this and I'm gonna let you turn it into a major detail? Was that him automatically putting the lawyer stuff like, okay, I'm not doing that no more, or was it like I'm putting it on the back burner and I'm gonna retire? I'm gonna retire as a major with this special case because I'm like, if he's just gonna get the major's pension, why would he need to keep the special unit like even intact? Like,
I think it's the first. I think well, it could be like, look, I don't think he's doing the lawyer stuff because it's like he figured there was no way out from the hole that they put him in. But
right?
once Burrell gave him this offer, he's like, oh, okay, well then fuck the lawyer stuff. I mean, he could. That's like a second option. I think
Yeah,
he treats it like he doesn't really want to do that. He's
right.
a
Yeah, not for sure, for
real
sure, for sure.
top natural police, right? So yeah, so at this point he's just like, oh, okay, I guess I'm back in. But we know, then it's explained later on that his wife Marla is gonna be really fucking pissed off about that.
Whew, I love that little scene too. We'll get to it later.
Yeah. Oh, that's a really funny scene.
I swear, I have there's this female writer that's on that she only does season 2, and this other guy writer, and I don't know, something just tells me that it's her humor, like that whole
That's
You
dynamic.
a
know,
part of it.
I'm trying
this
to reach out. I'm trying to reach out to her, but we'll see.
It's a good scene in
I think
at
this
the end of the
episode
episode.
was written by um it was written by, hold on, I'm having right, Joy Lusko
Yeah,
Kekin.
that's what I'm trying to.
That's
That's
okay,
her.
yeah. This She wrote this episode. It's a
Yeah,
teleplay by her.
yeah.
Okay.
I have a feeling that season 2 is her humor, so I'm trying to get. I'm actually trying to
Okay.
get in contact with her, trying to figure
Yeah,
out.
no, this episode is very well written, yeah, like I said, a lot of like subtle
But
humor
she
in the
only, and it's funny because she only wrote like one episode in season 1 and one episode in season 3, and then all of season 2.
Damn,
wow.
He has writing credits for.
damn.
So it seems like, and then season 2 has its own kind of unique humor to it
Hmm.
that
It
I'm like,
does. No,
yeah,
I told you. I'm pretty sure. Actually, I'm not pretty sure. It's the funniest season. Season
yeah,
two is the
Yeah.
funniest season. Like,
I think David
think
Simon
about it.
was like, if I'm not mistaken, he was the head writer, so he oversaw like all of the,
yeah,
different writers wrote different episodes.
yeah.
Uh,
Well, they're always gonna get head credit. Like David Chase always got credits, but
right, of
Barry
course,
Sopranos episode, but he
'cause
didn't
they're
write.
the showrunners. Yeah.
Yeah, the showrunners. Yeah,
But yeah, like they and him and Ed Burns, I think. But yeah,
yeah.
she wrote this episode. This also had one of my favorite quotes I wrote down when Daniel said, "You two are trading horses, and you need me in the corral." Speaking
Yeah,
of the
I took
writing,
that too. That
I
was a
love
good
that
line.
line.
Yeah,
It's like,
that was a great line. And then when he says the whole "fuck me once, shame on me, fuck me twice," like
right,
that whole the for people that hate on season two, as we break this down line by line, episode by episode, season two is
uh,
fucking phenomenal. Like it
yeah,
really
some like
is.
poetic writing right there. But
Yeah,
it's true. It's like Dan, like Jesse said, Daniels catches on immediately. He knows that Valchek and Burrell are basically just this is an exchange of what they need, and one thing they need is Daniels. And Daniels is
if
smart for
if
negotiating too.
if Daniels didn't, I mean, if Burrell didn't say, "Hey, I care," to make sure that he thinks he got his money's worth, it might not have clicked in Daniel's head because that's when it clicked when he was like, "Wait a minute, what do you the fuck you mean get his money's worth?" He was like, "Wait a minute."
Yeah, yeah.
He asked for me about name, didn't he? Yeah, and then
Hmm.
it clicked in his head when he was like, "Hey, I need you to make sure that he thinks he's getting his money's worth."
Hmm.
So that's a great scene. That's a phenomenal scene.
Yeah, exactly. And he knows that it's two Polacks. Like, was it? I think it was Burrell said two Polacks pissing on each other's legs.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that was essentially because Daniels asked like, "What's this case about?" And he says it's just Valchek has a beef with one person, and then so Daniels doesn't really care about the case per se, but he's just like he needs as a way to like bring out the special unit, you know.
I no wait. I think Raw says it. I don't
Oh
know.
right, yeah. Rawls says that
Raw
later on.
says, he
Yeah,
says, "Do you know what this case is about?" And he
two
said,
The
Polacks.
Daniels.
Right, you're right. Two Polacks pissing on each other's legs. Uh, yeah, but so now we get the old Unibeck, and we as the audience know, they're gonna bring back the whole gang from season one. Um, starting with Greg's and Herc, right? Meanwhile, Jimmy is looking through inventory, trying to find anything he can to connect to this case, and Ziggy is showing off his camera that he has, and Nikki tells him like, "Look, your dad's in on what we're doing, so we need to fucking chill out on that. So don't flash any money."
He
Yeah.
said he's pissed too. Like,
And
he told
Ziggy's worried right away. He's like, "Oh shit,"
him. And that's
Still,
another phenomenal back and forth dialogue, that little scene, because Ziggy's
mhm,
like, fuck me. He told? Horse told? Like, then he's like, yeah, he ain't happy. Ziggy,
yeah.
like, that's a good little back and forth. Like,
No, absolutely. It's like when you get in trouble by your dad and you just find, oh shit, Even though they're grown men, they still have that, they're like, oh fuck, he's in on us, because he's
yeah.
also the boss.
And another thing too, in that same scene when Nick goes to the bathroom, so Ziggy just pulls his dick out in front of anybody,
Yeah.
huh? That's just what it is, huh?
He doesn't flash money, but he flashes himself. And
you know, Buddy is looking at him too, like, what
yeah.
the fuck are you doing, bro? Like, what are you doing?
Well,
What are you doing?
and also the way the bartender responds, but she's just like,
Ziggy!
put it away. She's used to his behavior. It's like
Right.
she just knows, oh, that's Ziggy. Likes to pull his dick out in the bar. Um, yeah, Ziggy always looks worried too. Do you notice that? Whenever he's at the bar, he's always like afraid or something. Like he's anticipating bad shit to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
He's a
one of my
crash out, man. He's certified
yeah,
crash out.
one of my favorite scenes in this episode is when Jimmy is in his own room and he's answering different he's checking his voicemails, and it's like first it's like Bunk asking about Omar, then it's about his wife like trying to sign the divorce papers, and it's like his
Dennis
doctor,
is, yeah, who else? Oh, Eileen Nathan. She
Eileen
cussing him
Nathan.
out too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just pans out, and his room's a mess, and he's just like, "Fuck the." It's very relatable. Like we've all been there, where you just like every message you get is like some bullshit you don't want to answer, and it's like, "Fuck off." That's very like, yeah. I thought that was a great little like character moment, of establishing where Jimmy is right now at this point in his life. Um, but Oh yeah, so and also we get a sense of what Nick Sabaka, the kind of parallels with the next scene with Nick Sabaka and his wife, who are lying in bed in their mom's basement,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the way the basement is decorated. You could tell it's still got like posters and stuff from when they were teenagers, it's like a cramped bedroom, and it's just showing where Nicky's at this point in his life. He wants to get a place of his own. They have
Yes.
a kid, and he's still living like in his parents' basement. Um, Nicky's really gross in the morning too. I don't, every time he wakes up, he's like pissing
Wipe
and
the mud. He wiped the musty shit off his underarms with the
yeah.
shirt and shit. And 30 minutes in, we want to say please like, share, subscribe, comment, Wiretap Truths. We appreciate all the love, all the support. Yeah, Jack, he was going. Yeah, he filthy. Nah,
He
he's
just
filthy.
immediately drinks from like a soda can and like hawks a loogie, and he's like an animal. He's just, but yes, he's worried about he wants something to do with his life. He wants a place to live with his girlfriend, and even it shows like that he kind of lives like this life of like a grown teenager because he says like meet me
Meet
around
me in the
back
back.
because I don't
Yeah,
want my parents to see us.
right. And the girl is like, man, we got a kid together,
Yeah,
yo. And then he's like, well, they're decent people,
yeah.
like kind of thing. But she right though. I mean, shit, them folks ain't tripping about you
Mm.
having her in no fucking basement. Like it ain't even that serious.
Yeah, he just wants to live in this like reality, of but this is it's just like this episode shows you a lot about the different types of characters too, because the next scene we find out more about BD Russell.
Mm-hmm.
She's in the back of the car talking to a Bunk and Freeman about how to move forward with the case and who to talk to.
Yeah.
Talks about the check. She mentions the checkers who are responsible for everything coming in and out, and then like they asked her like, you know, is this your first case? And she's just like, I just patrol. I don't. This is like a day job for her. And she find out she used to like work as like a toll booth workers,
Mhm.
and for our Gen Z listeners, there used to be people in the
Mhm.
tolls that would uh, collect tolls, and that doesn't happen. I thought about that. I was like, wow, some young people wouldn't even know what the fuck that is. But yeah, so they realized like, do you even want to? They realized Bunk even asked her. He's like, did you even want to become a cop? And
And
he's
she's
like,
just like,
"Huh,
yeah.
yeah,
Which is, it's, I kind of found a little judgmental on Bunk. Like, you want everybody to be natural police. If you see
right,
like a civil service exam and you see it pays good money and you want to take it to provide for the family,
right,
I like these answers. I'm like, yo, it's like,
Yeah.
and you're like, you're collecting, you're at the toll booth and you're like, oh, this pays, plus pension and benefits,
mhm,
where parents tell you a long time, pension benefits, man, pension benefits, and
right,
you don't. So yeah, so I don't see anything wrong with Beatty choosing this as
I
for a
didn't I
cop.
didn't I didn't take nothing sideways from it from Buckner. I don't think he was saying like, you don't even want to be here. You shouldn't even
mhm.
be here. I ain't take it like that.
Not
I
like
think he
that,
was
but
just asking.
he was like, but I kind of feel like you kind of tell like he was like,
They're
you
surprised.
ain't natural police, like
Yeah, I didn't take
even
that
when
from him. I ain't take that from him. I don't think Monk cares enough about that.
well, when they
I,
asked
I
him
ain't,
later on about it too, like Freeman's like, "Oh, she's all right," and he's like, "Well," and then I think Bunk said
no
something.
detective though. That's what
No
he said.
detective. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like so, like
Do you wonder
I,
if it's judgmental or also I'm just curious because I kind of see where you're coming from there because they give each other a look, Bunk and Freeman. They're like, but I wonder if that was that or if he's wondering like, oh shit, she's not going to be able to help us out much, because it could
oh
be multiple other things.
yeah, it could be that too. Oh, and then when Bunk's like he was like, "You don't have a CI? A cop's only as
Right.
good as a CI." Like he
Yeah.
was like,
Because
"Yeah,
this is their only cop that can that's knowledge
That
of the
can help them.
courts, and it's
Yeah, that's
like,
all they got. And
you
she said
know,
too, I wasn't gonna make it on 22.5, I like
yeah,
that
yeah."
little part.
I don't know. I thought Bunk was a little hard on her.
yeah, no, I could
I
see
ain't
it.
never take it like that. I don't know. I ain't never take it as him like belittling her kind of thing. Like I ain't never get that. After he was inquiring, but I we've seen Bunk like talk down to somebody, like we've seen it. So I ain't really take it like he was like looking at her as less of a cop kind of thing. He was asking the questions, but I ain't never take it like he was directing any type of venom at her or nothing like that. I ain't never.
If we ever get the Bunk on the show, we have to ask him.
Yeah,
I'm not
well,
sure.
have to ask him if he ever made if the worlds ever collide.
How he played it.
I kind of just took it as like they were. He was just trying to find out about her, like being casual. But then like when he found out, he was like, oh shit, okay,
Yeah,
I guess not like this fucking woman's, but more just like
like she's not gonna help us. Yeah.
Right. But it could be either one though. We should find that out when we have the person that wrote the episode on. But I also think that's very common too. I'm sure there's plenty of cops that did it not because they have a passion necessarily, just for like the benefits and I'm sure that's very common, especially with somebody whose job is to like patrol the ports. I mean, finding those dead women is an anomaly. Most of the time it's just very boring. She describes her job and when she describes it, it sounds very mundane, casual, and like safe, right? Because that's the other thing. She's not like a big person or not. So she would want a that type of, she's not going in there like dealing with gangsters essentially. She's, as her job is to like patrol. Which is kind of like brilliant to make her like the central cop then that helps them out, Um, but we also find out more about like D'Angelo's and Avon's relationship here. D'Angelo has caught on that his uncle was the one who spiked the drugs, and he's pretty mortified by it because it's like he did it so casually, with like zero regard for the fact that it's like human beings
He's
that did
pissed.
this, you know. Um,
He's pissed. You can see it in his walk when he walks up.
right.
Like he's pissed. And I think he equates the inmates to him eliminating all those inmates to Wallace. I think that's where some of the anger probably comes from. It's like, well, same way y'all eliminated Wallace, like he was nothing. You just killed these 5 people like it was nothing. Like,
I also think it's just, it's like it just shows he has no regard for human life. Like these are just people. D'Angelo might have known them personally too,
Yeah, I think
Avon
he did.
Avon has no like, he's a psychopath. He doesn't care. It's all about what he wants at that moment.
And D'Angelo said it. Well, if it's not you, who else could it be?
Right.
Like, and rightfully so. Who else pull some shit like that? Like, that's a real power move to spike some drugs from the outside to bring them inside, and you yourself are inside. Like, that's some real power.
I think D's just, so with D, like we figure it out, right? He's just over the lifestyle, right? He's over he's not trying to play a part of it no more.
No,
he's like, I'm gonna do my time.
Yeah,
you guys let me be, and that's it.
And he that's what he told him. Kind of like he's like, it seems like you're making this power move because Avon was like, I like the scene too of the line where he's like, it's play on the inside, it's play on the outside, and we got it all covered, And D'Angelo's looking at it like, well, shit, he probably is gonna shave some years off his sentence. I don't even want to be a part of that no more. Like he probably is about to get out. He's like, I don't want no part of what you do no more.
Right.
I don't even want to even be a part of this move to get us less time. Just kill 5 people.
Yeah.
Like I don't even want to be attached to it. If you're about to get out, more power to you. I'm just gonna do my 20, which sounds ridiculous. I'm gonna do my 20. I'm gonna do my 20 years and just go about my business.
I mean, anybody. You would think that you would want less time, but I'm sure in D's mind is like, if I get less time, then I'm back to that lifestyle where I feel trapped anyway.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I don't think D would also get the 20 anyway. I mean, like, you do enough good years, like where you don't bother anyone to start to
get released. Yeah,
early.
You do stuff within the jail, within the prison. It's stuff like that. That
he would like a guy's early 20s.
He would have to do a good amount of it, though.
Oh, yeah, at least
especially with what went Down, I think more than 10. Because
Yeah,
especially like the kind of case it was. It was like, like, he refused to flip on a drug kingpin.
yeah.
It's
Right.
kind of like, I, I don't know if I don't know.
But
We
the
have to.
lawyer could explain, like, hey, this was done when he was a very young, impressionable kid. The reason he refused to flip is because that's his uncle, and he was faced with all this pressure, not just from the gang, his family. This is me acting as D'Angelo's attorney. This is what I would say.
Yeah, but what would be so if he would have been sentenced to 20 years up for parole in so. So he
Yeah,
might not even be up for parole in 15. I don't even know if they tell
12
us or not.
years. It could be 12 years. Could
Maybe
be
12, yeah. Or something.
fits, but like you said, if you do enough, if you can affect the prison in a positive
Yeah.
manner, that helps, whether it's teaching or where you work at in the prison, all of that helps. But he gonna do at least 10 for
Yeah.
sure.
Me get off after 10, I don't know. I think that's probably what he's thinking too.
But
And
too, like Jesse was alluding to, this is his third strike kind of thing. I don't. Is that even real in today's like day and time? Still, like a 3 strike, go to jail 3 strikes. Like, is that even
I think
still
so.
a thing?
what do you
I
mean?
guess
Like,
so. Like, it's. I guess I never hear. I don't really watch the news like that unless it like finds me. But like, I don't hear people say, "Yeah, this is his third strike. His sentence is heightened because it's his third offense," or like, I don't know. I don't know. I
well,
don't
I
follow.
think I think the number of offenses, I mean the number of times you get caught doing something, yeah,
Still matters.
the
Yeah.
time goes up. But I think also they could use the fact that like he did this so young in his life, the gang lifestyle is all he knew. They could always explain that into the appeals,
Mm-hmm.
process.
Yep.
But I think D'Angelo is he wants nothing to do with his uncle, who just murdered people. And Avon doesn't even like understand why he would be angry at him. That's the thing about him. He's just like, "What? I'm doing this to help you." Like it
Yeah.
doesn't occur to him like what he did. He doesn't. It's not only like that. He just doesn't seem to care, which is, and like D'Angelo said, he felt more free, behind bars than he did there. Um, so we go back to the scene where he's Jimmy McNulty, much like in season one. He's at that burnt car that they killed Brandon at, and he
Mm-hmm.
attaches his ID to that. He's trying to get. And here's one thing I took note of. Okay, this is a little fan theory of mine, and let me know if you know where I'm going with this. But when Jimmy sees these little kids walk by that van,
Mm-hmm.
do you think those were like the kids from season four?
I need to look at the kids
I
again.
mean, it
I
wouldn't
doubt
like
it,
they wouldn't
but
intentionally. I'm just saying that's a fun
yeah.
little theory of mine.
I mean, there's always some little nuggets like that. Like in season 3, when after Omar got in the shootout, and you see the
Mm,
kid Kennard, and he's like, "No, it's my turn to be Omar. I want to be
right.
Omar. I want to be Omar." And that's who ends up killing him. That little connection, a little nugget. But those kids specifically, I
I
need to
mean,
look
they're
at.
not the same. They're not the same actors. I'm just saying it's like
Yeah,
it would be a fun little theory. I don't know.
yeah.
Oh, I forgot to mention beforehand. One of the funniest moments too, in this episode is when Ziggy's like explaining the cameras and Nikki doesn't know what a digital camera
Yeah,
is. He
yeah.
just like he
Well, it
doesn't
was new
know.
at that time. They were new at that time.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's funny. Like at the time beforehand, cameras used to be film. Um, and like so, yeah, digital cameras is like, wait, you just put it on your computer, and Ziggy's like, yeah, you fucking idiot. Nikki's
So
behind the times.
it's funny you said that. We see Ziggy's good with computers. And later on we see that too.
Oh
That
yeah, absolutely.
Ziggy, you know, he could have been somebody in the technology in the room.
Yeah, done what
And
Johnny 50 does.
because we see him as a fuck up outside on the field, but like you can see he knows stuff that Nikki doesn't know. Like he teaches Nikki about the internet when they look up what they need the ingredients for and stuff.
He hacks into his bully's computer.
Yeah.
Do you guys know his name? Well, you guys should IMDb that.
What's his name?
Hey,
Moy.
what's his name?
More.
Maul.
More.
Hey,
Something
Maul.
like
What are you
Because
saying?
Beanie says it.
Ma?
MUA. No, Moi. Ma, not
Ma?
Moi.
Maui.
Maui. That's it.
Maui.
Maui. Right.
Maui.
It's like the island where the guy from
Wow.
Moana, Maui. Yeah, no, he hacks into Maui's computer and uploads his dick. Like he is good. He could have just been like a guy that works there. You know, that's the frustrating thing about Ziggy is that he could have actually had potential, but he's his own worst enemy, and he kept fucking up the entire time.
Yeah.
Um, he doesn't listen to any advice. Like for instance, Nikki tells him, "Don't flash this much money because it's known what you're doing." And the first thing Ziggy does is get a $2,000
Oh, yeah.
leather coat, which is like it's not that nice of a jacket to be honest. I looked
No,
at
it was
that.
pretty ugly. Yeah.
That should yeah, it looked really ugly. I was like, that shouldn't. You got bad style. It's funny when like Cheese says that later on when he's like look at this fucking jacket. You think we'd ever be caught wearing that? But yeah, Nick tells him like, hey, don't do this. Um, but they've also it started to impress the Greeks, Nikki and Ziggy, and so Nikki tells Ziggy like, hey, we can have like more work for them, but like for right now, just keep it down. Um,
And two, like we found out from our interview 2 interviews ago, that coat was not worth no damn $2,000.
yeah, we were just talking about like that coat is an ugly ass coat. That's that coat. um, yeah, and okay, so McNulty is trying to find, especially too. He has the coat and a beanie and like the checkered outfit over there. Con- there's no consistency to that
He doesn't
outfit.
have no Ziggy doesn't have swag.
He doesn't. Yeah, he has no style. He needs to take style lessons from Herc. Because later on we see Herc's jacket.
Hurt now when he was doing them, putting them outfits on to go on the cover, he was clean. He had the
Oh yeah,
velour suit, the baby blue velour suit. He had the coat that had. I always like those coats too. To have the fur. I've
Only
never bought one, but I've
yeah.
always liked those coats.
Ziggy's taking style lessons from D'Angelo. That's for sure. Actually, that would be a good question. Who do you guys? Well, we can come back to the answer like next episode. Which character do you guys think had like the best style?
And the worst style.
Yeah, 'cause
Who's
I
the
think like
best
off
and
the top of my
worst?
head, Daniels is always like. I mean, he's always wearing a suit, but even the way he carries, very well fitted.
Yeah,
Um, Avon's kind of actually Stringer is always dressed very nicely.
for sure. Yeah.
He's even where he's wearing like a turtleneck sweater, everything is very like prim and proper. You
Is
know.
but the Greek is probably not the Greek. Vondas is probably another one. He's
Yeah.
his suits like and that's another one of my favorite moments when Jimmy is like it might be Perry Ellis or something. Bunk is like, how would it just rolled out of bed, motherfucker? Like the designer. Like fuck are you talking about? Like, he said it's a Joseph Abul suit, so it's like you can tell that his suits are really clean. Spiros is man, that's the man. Spiros is the man.
Spiros is very cool. He's one of my favorite like supporting characters. Um, Also, McNulty is trying to find Omar, so he goes back to like a street corner.
Yep.
And it's funny because it's just like his audacity. He doesn't understand like it's I feel like he's like separated from reality in a way because he just thinks his idea is just to think of like going up to people on the street and asking where Omar is. I took
Yeah.
a note down like even like the music he listens to. It's funny. It's always like something very like un like uncommon, whether it's like country or like he's listening to like dot
It's got a
music.
little tune to it. It's what was the
It's
song? It's
very like
like
a doo-dop kind of
like yeah, it's some funny music he's listening to for
yeah.
sure. As he's looking for Omar, it is pretty funny.
He's very yeah, so his idea is like let's just go to these people and try to find out where he is. And one of my favorite lines too is he says he's like I don't care about drugs, but
Yeah,
littering
you
pick
pick that shit up when
fathers.
I leave. Yeah,
Because he knows right away, oh, they threw the drugs on the ground, and they clock that he's police, so automatically they assume the position on the wall to get patted down. Um, but yeah, at this point, he's trying to find Omar to get back for Bunk's case, the bird case, right? And Rawls is annoyed with Bunk and Freeman because they're telling him like we don't have shit to do with this case, right? We have no outside or inside, so we have to find out like from the ports about who is picking up the cases and whatnot. We have to check the docs essentially.
And this is another moment of if y'all just study Rawls and his dialogue, it's probably, I don't know if it's every scene that he's in, but he's gonna say some out of pocket shit, like that alludes to his secret lifestyle. Like what did he say? He's like, I don't care if they were speaking with a Mandarin cocksucker's lisp or something like that. He said, like, if you just listen to his dialogue, bro, he be saying some out of pocket shit. Like it's like, bro, that is so. Why would you say that? Like kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, he's very eloquently vulgar, I say.
Sure.
I mean, he curses better than, like, when I say he says, we're all going to be stepping on our dicks trying to explain it. Yeah, right, every line of dialogue is gold with him. And he's annoyed that they let the ship go, right? Because he's saying, like, we need to find what happened on this boat.
Let me ask y'all this. Speaking about just being disconnected, what exactly did Rawls want them to do with that? Did he really? How would they have even been able to do what he was asking? Like,
well, get interpreters there, and he wanted them to find somebody that would talk. But Bunk Freeman pretty much knew nobody would talk, so they were just like, just go on your merry way. So he was just like, no, that's where, if you got them, Ross kind of saw it as if you got somebody to talk, they would have, if you guys stalled them out long enough, somebody would have talked. But right. I don't think he was correct. I think Bunk and Freeman read it right.
Yeah, logistically, there was nothing they could have done there because there's also the economic factor of, like, these companies need these ships to move, so they would have gotten continuous pressure. This is a case of Rawls being an obnoxious dick boss.
Yeah, like an unreasonable boss. Like,
right,
you're being pretty unreasonable here.
That's what I'm asking. Like, I'm like, how would they in Philly? They're not connected to nobody out there. Like,
no, he's just being a pain in the ass, and they know that. They're explaining the situation, and he's still just not listening because all he cares about is the numbers game, right? And all he cares about is who's to blame for if shit doesn't go well, which he threatens them at the end by saying, like, he's like willing to, when they're looking for a scapegoat of when they don't find him. He's basically just saying, like, I will throw you guys under the bus, like, without a second thought.
Which is pretty admirable that he says it right to their face.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hide it. If shit hits the fan, one of you all might, you might be my scapegoat, so I'm telling you ahead of time. Don't be surprised.
Right. Yeah, Rawls is the man. I mean, I know he's an asshole and he's being an unreasonable.
Oh, the actor's great.
But he's so funny. And he's so like yeah, like we said, every line of dialogue is great. I don't think I don't think every joke about him alludes to his gay lifestyle. But I think I think he's just like the funniest character in my opinion.
No, well, his dialogue whenever he's cursing somebody out is like a very homophobic, or even like leads into like sexual content.
It may not allude to
who talks like that.
Yeah, it may not allude to like his secret, but it is drenched in sexual
innuendo. Yeah, that's true.
He'll be like, all right, you got my nipples grabbed right now.
Right, yeah.
It's out of pocket for sure. But
there's a lot of sexual innuendo when he speaks at work.
But he does have some great scenes like in the show where it's unbelievable. Like when they found out about Amsterdam, he was the one that clocked COVID. He was like, wait a minute, motherfucker. You legalized drugs, right. And then Burrell was like, "Oh shit," it was Rawls who clocked it first. Like,
you're smarter.
He's over. Back to what Leland said that you said it doesn't allude to it. He's overcompensating. So when you find out he's gay, he overcompensates for the fact,
Yeah, that makes sense. And there are definitely some lines that would definitely reference that. I think one of my funniest lines is when he's like talking about the homeless guy and he's like, I'm into some kinky shit, but chewing on a homeless fella.
That was a little bit of realness coming out.
It's just but also just the look that Carcetti just starts rolling his eyes like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
He's hell. Even in season 3 when he was talking to Bunny about how bad his numbers were, and Bunny was really nonchalant about it. And then Ross mentions about the girl. It's a 6-year-old girl, and it's a stripper out there. And then he's like, maybe she goes to ask the stripper about her job because she sure shit doesn't want yours.
Yeah.
And then he says, if the stripper walks into the room, she walks in, flashes some tit, gives us a little woof of that muff. Like it's just the shit that he be saying. Like it's just he's
Yeah.
hilarious, man.
Well, similar to McNulty, he's a character that you like from the outside, but like if you worked with them, you'd fucking hate them.
Sure.
If you
No,
had to work, we've all worked for a guy like Rawls, or I have, who's just like can be unreasonable and will
for
throw
sure.
their employees under the bus.
For sure.
Uh,
No,
you
I've
know.
been there.
But and we also see Bubbles and Johnny like carrying this all their stolen goods under their shirts. McNulty catches them right away, and they look cartoonish. They're like kids that walked out like stealing shit, and he immediately clocks. He notices them get off the bus at first with that, so he follows them to the next time.
You know what I
Uh,
forgot about this before I did this rewatch? How much Johnny's actually in the show. I didn't
yeah.
realize Johnny lasted that long.
Oh,
Yeah,
until season 3.
yeah.
Let me ask you, like, what are they putting in their coats
CD
when they
players and stuff, right?
DVD? Yeah, okay.
CD
Electronics, right?
electronics. Yeah, yeah,
Because the next scene we see them in, McNulty, waves them down,
yeah, yeah.
and Bubbles is like a deer in the headlights. He's like, "Oh, hey, McNutty," and then he goes in there.
Does
And
he really think his name is McNutty?
I
I'm
think so at
confused.
this point. Jimmy
I'm confused.
McNutty.
Jimmy.
Uh, But yeah, so Jimmy basically threatens them and says like, or not threatens, but he says like, look, you need to help me. Blackmails them essentially. He's like, you need to help me find Omar, and or if you can find a receipt, then you can go for this stolen shit. And
Yeah.
now similar, So that's how he
It's kind
eventually.
of funny too because I think Bubbles should know McNulty well enough that he doesn't care about some shoplifting.
Right, exactly. He's not gonna.
Like but I get, Bubbles is like, oh shit, I gotta find them, or he'll pop me for shoplifting. But it's like, but Bubbles has worked with him, like
Right.
McNulty doesn't care about this stuff,
No, yeah, Jimmy would never like actually prosecute. He would never actually arrest Bubbles. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Um,
And yes,
No,
he
but
does
that,
think his
that
name is
that's what I'm saying.
McNutty.
I think it plays to the scene that
yeah,
Bubbles is a little worried about it, and then he goes to find Omar. But honestly, like the character of Bubbles, you should know that McNulty's not really gonna do like he's not gonna bring him in.
hmm
Yeah, facts. Facts. And I took that note down, so I heard y'all about the McNutty stuff. That's just how he pronounced his name. Like, that's just, hey, McNutty.
hmm yeah. And it's also it's funny that that's how Jimmy is like. All right, well, I guess I'll ask my main CI. But he just happens to see him too.
Mm-hmm.
It's all
Because
by
what
luck.
the
Yeah.
what the fuck was Jimmy gonna do? He was just gonna ride around Baltimore until
Yeah.
shit started to make sense about where to find Omar at. Like,
That's why I love Jimmy, because he just has that confidence of like, if I just try hard enough, I'll fucking do it. Even what I mean. Because Omar that's kind of what Omar does, right? In a way, he just walks around town finding whatever he does. He has more of a plan, but um, yeah, it's like if Jimmy wants something bad enough, he'll like try to find a way to get it, and it ends up working for him eventually, as we see later on in the episode. But this other scene I want to talk about too, because it's with that guy who owns the camera store, the electronics store, and he's talking to Nikki and Ziggy, and he's basically saying like, we have more stuff for you, and like it's funny how they don't even acknowledge Ziggy really in this scene. They're just
Yeah,
like, they don't respect him at all. Like Ziggy's like, I'm down, and then Nikki immediately like interrupts him and says like, no, we're not trying to do this right now, and then like, yeah, they don't even acknowledge that. But then they say like, but the guy says we have more work for you to do. It's like chemicals, and then
mhm.
it's like, well, why do this? Why not just buy it from the fucking paint store.
Let's
Uh,
go to a department store and pick them
right.
all up.
Hardware store. But the fucking moron because um yeah, and they so he says like, all right, we'll have more work for you now, and that'll lead into like the next episode.
But
Um
you guys realize why they can't go to the department store and pick that much stuff.
right. No,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah,
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying Ziggy's
we
a
know.
moron for not I'm saying he's a moron for not understanding that.
And they
Um
talking tons of this stuff too. It ain't like
right.
Yeah.
go in and buy the whole shelf at Home Depot. We talking
Yeah,
mention
that's not,
tons of shit.
yeah.
Like
Yeah. Um
in 1 hour in, we want to say please like, share, subscribe, comment, Wiretap Truce. We appreciate all the love, all the support. Keep us going, Jack.
yeah, so Levy's back to being this snivelous snake of an attorney that he is, and manages to tell them like, hey, this guy Tillman is the one who brought in this drugs, and if you search him you will find stuff. And he's kind of giving it away, like, like that cop. I like the cop immediately, like we said earlier, he immediately catches on, like, look, this is the guy that did this.
He said a cop got shot behind your organization. And
Yeah,
also, so I wanted to ask this: when Avon says, "I know you know I'm not behind what happened to your friend," who is he talking about? Do y'all know?
he's talking about
Who is the?
Greg's.
He's talking
I
about
think
Greg.
he just means his cop. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's talking about Greg's. He's technically doesn't have anything to do with it because they legally found no connection, but it's like the guy knows. Everyone knows that the guy worked for him. They just
Yeah.
can't prove it in court.
Okay,
Um,
And
so it's
even
Greg.
though him and Greg's aren't really friends, they probably don't even know each other. He's saying your tribe.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Good shit. Okay, good shit.
Yeah, he's playing innocent here. Like, I don't know, fucking what you're talking about. I'm
Yeah.
just the
And
guy.
Avon out in 1 year on a 7-year bid is insane.
Yeah.
I think he did too, but it's still crazy.
Yeah, it was close. Yeah, it was closer to.
Um, this is also the first episode that we see their dad, Nikki's dad.
To the surprise.
Tuna surprise that they have.
Yeah. So it's cool that I like Nikki's dad introduction because the introduction is so it's funny. So watching this so many times, you already know what you're gonna get with Nikki's dad. But
Mhm.
the surprise in Nikki's dad is, oh, he's at the bar like always. So you're thinking an alcoholic gambler, and then you meet you meet Pops, and he's just like a stand up guy, like
Yeah.
having having a
Yeah.
couple and not even gambling. He's
Right.
he writes down on what the outcome he thinks will be, but
Mhm.
he never even plays it. So it's
Yeah.
like,
What's the thing about the show, man? Is it's great at challenging perceptions of people like that because we all have like our stereotypes of like the gambler, but it shows he's actually a good guy. He just has like a passion for this. Kind of just similar to like how it challenges your perception of like drug addicts with Bubbles, right? It's
yeah,
kind of like like daring to write a character like that, but everyone finds likable and sympathetic. He's always like the show always goes against the grain of like what you would expect out of people.
yeah, that's well said.
Um,
Yeah,
but I was just looking it up. Tuna surprise. That's what I thought it is. Is like tuna casserole,
Yeah.
and you know, that's yeah, that is some gross fucking shit right there. It's like canned tuna egg noodles is fucking gross. I've never had it. I'm just saying I know people that have had it. It's a very like old
Old
school,
timey dish.
old timey white people dish. I will say it's fucking gross. It's but yeah, so like that's kind of what he's having, and it shows their relationship to each other the way Nikki talks to his dad because it's like he wants his approval.
Yep. When he says
Um,
they offloaded the ship, you see his dad crack that little subtle smile, like, damn, all right, Nico. And I love when people call him Nico too. Like I like that. Like
yeah,
Nico.
yeah, and his dad is like, he still cares for his son, but you get the
Sure.
sense that he hasn't done this in a long time. Like Nikki says, like, oh, you have to let me take you to the racetrack sometime. And he's like, yeah, maybe. And but they still have like a good relationship with each other. And then if you contrast that, like he's at the bar by himself. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's like very different than Frank and all the checkers go out with each other afterwards. Seems like Nick's dad kind of lives like this insulated life away from each other. Um But also we see the next scene is we see Daniels going to Rawls and says Rawls catches on pretty quickly too. He says anything to get you out of the basements, and Daniels doesn't even laugh. He's just like, yeah, he knows. But
And Ross hates McNulty,
yeah,
as we can see.
the main point of this scene is that Daniels wants his team back, and Rawls he says like, you need my approval for every one of these people, and
Yep.
then he says anybody but McNulty.
Yeah, McNulty's a big no.
Yeah,
He said, what do you say? He drowns
he
when he
drowns.
dies on that
Right.
boat.
Yeah.
That's so
Uh,
fucked up to say. Like,
yeah. No, I know. He hates him. He's dead at this point to him. Also, we see the first time we see Kima in this episode, she's with her wife, and they're behind like these like kids from I'm assuming like University of Maryland. I wonder what school is like over there, like a big Baltimore school. Because I know there's like Johns Hopkins, but that's like a
yeah,
med school. You guys know where like the big Baltimore college is? I feel
no.
like uh yeah, Johns Hopkins, but there's also a Loyola.
Oh,
So
okay.
that could be there. Anyway, so all these college kids like hanging out, blocking traffic, like these dumb frat boys are hanging out, whatever, people being people. But like Kima just immediately is like, I want to get these people down, and um her wife is like, just relax. You're not a cop anymore. There's no need to cause an outrage over this. But she that cop instinct takes over, right? And so she takes one of those guys off the truck and arrests him. And her wife is like disappointed because
Mm-hmm.
Kima still wants to be in the job and she knows it.
Yeah. She Kima said, bitch, move it or lose it. Like,
Yeah. Um so it's very similar Kima's situation with Daniels. And they talk about this later on, how both their
their wife.
partners are not going to be happy about them uh, returning back. And one of the funniest scenes we mentioned earlier on is when they do that like pan shot of
Yeah,
like showing the two dinners
Yeah, they going
simultaneously.
back and forth. Yeah, no, it was so many words without any words. Like,
Yeah,
and
nobody's saying anything, but they're just
an-
so uncomfortable.
another thing too, that little scene that Daniels was watching with the dog going in and out. I always took that as kind of symbolic of him going in and out of the police station kind of thing. Like, because the dialogue on the TV is something about the dog. What the hell does it say? It's something that's like related to Daniels in a way. Like, I don't know if y'all ever even thought that, but it's something on the TV that they say with the
Oh
dog.
right, yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
in
He's
reference to
watching like
Daniels.
he's watching like the dog training video like
Mhm.
that show that they that big competition that they have down in Florida, like the national dog competition. It's the most random shit. And yeah, it's saying like the good dog remains loyal to,
Yep,
mhm.
yeah.
yep,
I took
yep,
that, and it's basically saying like that's kind of what he is. He's like a loyal to his to the job essentially.
yep. And she don't know yet at that point either.
Right.
When he's
He
watching that
was,
shit on TV. You know,
she's just
so
like,
it's
why are you
him.
watching this? But he's
Yeah,
really,
it's him thinking like, oh shit, like okay, I just accepted this case. I'm still staying in. But his
Mhm.
wife don't know it yet. You know.
Yeah. Or you could think it as like being a loyal dog to his wife, and he doesn't want to be like that. He doesn't want to have to feel like trapped, like he's on a leash. He
Mm-hmm.
wants to feel more free.
Yeah, interesting.
I don't know. There's multiple ways you could go with it. I thought it was. I mean, it's funny though because it's just like the last thing you'd expect anybody to be watching. Um, but yeah, they even have that relatable scene when they both know that they're pissed off about uh, Daniels and Greg's know that their wives aren't going to be happy with them.
And neither one of them was. They were both pissed. Like they were
Yeah.
both like
Yeah, they don't say
they were
anything.
both
They
mad.
just know they're in trouble at this point. But great camera work too by showing it back and forth like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, this is when we see Maui for the first time, and he's like he picks on Ziggy because he knows that Ziggy's up to some dirt, and he knows that he's stealing shit from.
From
Uh,
the dots.
yeah,
Yeah. I
Ziggy
ain't see
tells.
I
Johnny
ain't see you standing there in all that sweet leather.
mm, spills coffee on him. Yeah,
It's so fucked up too to spill hot coffee on somebody. That's some
that's
bullshit.
fucked up. Yeah. Yeah, Maui's one of the big dicks in this show. That's why it's satisfying when you see that he gets like hacked later on by
Yeah,
Vicky.
but that's also too. That's a when they tell Ziggy to go try him up. That's a big motherfucker too. Like he ain't small either. Like Ziggy walks up and punches him, and he just eats that punch. He
Right.
like,
He's
Yeah, they
also a
were.
CI
like
for Beatty.
yeah. He used to date. They used to date.
Yeah, but yeah, they were winding him up, messing like, hey, you should, this guy's a pussy. Go take him on.
Man, that
Um,
motherfucker was huge. He ate that punch and Ziggy
yeah.
hit Ziggy back. Ziggy said, "Oh shit."
But we
He
also
big
have
as
like,
hell.
and it's like, yeah, no, it's weird that he's so like judgmental of what Ziggy does too,
Mm-hmm.
considering that all these other people are also behind the scenes. I guess it feels like it really is like a bully thing of like he just wants to like mess with him, you
Yeah.
know. And but Ziggy tells Johnny 50 that there's gonna be more like chemicals on her way. And then Bubbles and Johnny are talking to each other, and those two women that are talking were that work for Omar in the other room, right? And
Mhm.
they happen to overhear what Bubbles talking about Omar.
And I think it's just one of them. I don't think Tasha's in the room. I think it's just Kimmy. She's
Hmm.
talking to like I guess her. I don't want to call it CI. She's not a cop, but her junkie informant or a junkie that's giving her information about another stash house. But I think it's just her. I think it's just her and the drug addict. I don't think it's both girls in that scene. Or
Right.
they didn't show the other one. Like
Yeah. Yeah, they're just finding out like she probably uses so she knows about where the stash is and everything. But speaking of great dialogue, like I like the line where Johnny says you keep rolling over rocks and you get bit by a snake. Yeah. He
like
said that while going into a comatose.
we looking for a sociopath. Like, man, fuck around and get smoked out here, like
Yeah.
trying to find this man. Like, it's a great metaphor from Johnny because he right. Like,
Hmm.
fuck, man, y'all want us to go look for this crazy motherfucker that got a shotgun? Bro, come on, bro. What are we talking
Yeah.
about here? Like,
And
and
they
what
happen to
Bubba say,
over
gotta pay that tax.
you gotta pay the tax. Even the guy who's like listening to headphones is like, hey, you wanna find Bubbles, just go on there, sell a product and you'll find him eventually.
Yeah, you put a big ass package out there. You be talking to him soon
Mhm.
enough, for sure.
Yeah. Again, these are just one of these like vacants. It's sad to think there's all these just like empty apartment.
Oh,
Um,
it's thousands of them in Baltimore. Thousands of
yeah,
vacant houses in Baltimore. I mean, it's thousands of vacants in a lot of
I
places, but
know.
in Baltimore, it's a lot of them. It's a whole lot of
Mhm. So yeah, they overhear what Bubbles is saying, and then they basically say, "Hey, like," so they tell Omar, who eventually finds Bubbles later on. Um,
You're asking for me snitching, Bubs?
yeah, and
And
oh,
does
okay,
nobody know that Bubbles is a snitch other than Omar? Like,
I think Omar only. I do think it's only Omar. I think
because
Bubbles is
he's
actually pretty um on the low with it. I think I
yeah,
think I think Bubbles is actually pretty smart with it.
yeah.
Uh,
But Omar did see him in season 1 too when they were scoping out the Avon spot.
right,
He
but
saw
Omar
them
was on
talking,
that
So
house
maybe
for a
that's
few.
the establishing of it.
Well,
Like,
yeah, Omar was in that house for a few days, and Omar notices everything.
yeah,
right.
facts.
That's a good point. He's always lurking. He knows, he sees what people are up to. Uh,
And just to speaking about Omar, his character is so legendary because, like, remember when he robbed the stash house in season 5 and he dumped? We didn't see it on camera, but he dumped the drugs into the toilet, and then Savino and the
Yeah,
older guy came in. They were like, "Fuck, 4 Kia Raw flushed down the toilet." Like,
mhm.
and then he ends up killing Savino. But Omar says, "Hey, I saw you at the stash house," so that means he followed Savino for days from the
hmm
stash house until he caught him at that club and killed him. Like
Yeah.
he's like, shit, man, this man like a marksman almost. Like
It's like he's like a lion, he's just waiting for his chance
shit.
to fucking. He's smart like that. He takes his time, you know. But when the kind of Stringer's kind of similar in a way, like they're both kind, you know, they're very deliberate. They don't rush into things. They like to think things through, which made them good, like enemies towards each other.
You know what, too, Jack? You just gave me a great idea. We'll have to talk about this off camera. But like, if we did another Wiretap Truths random episode about character parallels, that might be a good breakdown. Just saying, thinking about if we have enough within the show where characters are like kind of aligned and stuff. I have to think. We have to talk about that off camera, y'all. But I was just thinking about that. Like, that might be interesting. It might be interesting to put together.
Yeah, absolutely. And the conclusion of this storyline of we find out that we're gonna go to Officer Tillman's vehicle, and then like we mentioned earlier, that one cop says it was definitely him, but they all just want it to go away. They say if it takes the overdoses off our table, Tillman's the guy's got to go, and that's kind of similar to the police organization, right? Because they just want the murders, they just want it all to go away. They want they're under pressure here.
And Avon tells him like they like if we come up short on this, and Avon's like, "You won't. Don't worry about it." Like,
I mean, like, how do you know? The fuck, like, how do you fucking know? We also see that Valchek is continuing to get photographs of the van in different cities, which is hilarious that he's contacting like union guys from different cities. Like this is like a national prank that they're pulling.
They killing his ass with it too. He can't track the shit for nothing. Like it ain't.
Yeah, it was in New Orleans, and now it's like the van's going around the fucking around the country at this point.
And I love that look on Tillman's face when they bust his shit up too. Like he's like, "What the fuck?" Like he's flabbergasted.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He knows that it was, and two, like when they pull up to him, he is immediately is like, I know my rights. Like you can't just search my car, but they explain like as soon as you're an officer and you park your car, it's entitled to a search.
Yep, fact. And Stringer tells Shamrock too, "Hey man, be subtle with it." He like, you know what that means? And Shamrock's like, "Yeah, man, lay back and shit." You know,
right?
I know what you're talking about. You know,
yeah. And he did it well. That was pretty well done. Even when they're going to arrest Tillman too, the way they bring cops that are bigger, that like they know that Tillman might try to pull something, so they have to bring the cops that are like can overpower him. You know,
he looks
the
angry when they tell him. You
Yeah,
know, he's like, "What the fuck? What you mean search my shit?" Like
the warden's not going to do shit. He's not that big, so he needs to bring these other guys into it. Speaking of the scene with like let's talk about that now with Stringer, because I like that later on when he goes over and tells him the news and he says and like at the same time Stringer's watching the news where they're reporting on what happened and he says like you guys got to leave, I have a midterm to study for.
I got a midterm. I got to study.
Back in college. It's hilarious.
You know, like he's legendary, man. He was oh man, that Stringer character, man. It's I don't know. Some like I said, some of the stuff that we've pulled, like some of the numbers. If you look at all of the real estate development, all of the business, McNulty himself said he felt like he was worth a couple $100 million. Like the Stringer character, man, was unbelievable. And that scene in his high-rise apartment, I love that scene. Like I love how his apartment was set up. Like it's so it was put together so well. Like it's got a little 24-hour waterfall in it. Like the Stringer character, he's a fascinating character for sure.
No, definitely.
And then the scene about the wives, we talked about it a little bit, but let's talk about that for a second. Who do you think is more mad? Which wife you think is more mad, Cheryl or Daniel's wife? Which one?
I think it's pretty even.
I think it's about time.
I mean, Cheryl might be more like Cheryl. I think. Well, the thing about Cheryl too is like Kim almost died.
Facts.
So, whereas like Marla knows, like as a lieutenant, you don't really face that much like action. You're more behind the scenes guy.
She wants him to be a commissioner. She wants him to be, elevating the rank, or go be a lawyer. You know, if you can't do those things as a policeman, if you're just gonna be at the bottom of the barrel as a weak ass lieutenant, go be a lawyer. Then you know what's the point? kind of
She's
thing.
very career oriented, you
For
know.
sure. Oh no, for sure. She even says it this season when she's like, I fell in love with your ambition. I don't know where that
Mhm.
person is, where he went, like
Yeah.
so. But yeah, no, that little silent scene, the music that's playing, the two of them going back and forth, and ain't nobody saying nothing, and then you just see the two wives. They get
Yeah.
increasingly more angry before they both get up and leave the table with their respective significant others. Like it's a great scene of no talking, but a lot of words being said silently for sure.
Cedric and Kima just don't know what to say. They're just like,
What?
oh, so, you know.
What?
Um, yeah. No, they're both, but they're also back together now, you know.
Yeah.
They found Kima and Greg's and Herc. They later on we see them going back to the old house, the new unit house that they have, and they
Yeah.
see Presbo, and Herc immediately is like, we should try to get Carver back.
Yeah. What's
Uh,
Valchek say, y'all? Good digs.
yeah,
He's trying to sell the little work spot to Daniels. He's like, good digs. Let me show you.
you know
Kind
what? It is a step up from the dungeon from season one. You know, they're above ground. It's definitely an improvement. I would say they
of
didn't
sure.
fuck them completely like in season one. But the case itself is like much of a loser because even Greg says it's pretty thin. They don't really have much to work on.
Yep.
They just overhear some guy might be corrupt, right?
Yep.
Um, yeah, and we also see that Jimmy's like trying to find anything um to get like identities of these victims still. He even goes to some woman who speaks their language. I'm not sure which language it is that they mentioned, but she mentions that there's people that it was a letter that she's writing to her old hometown, and she mentions that there are certain people involved too. He's like she's writing to a family, and then they mention that
Isn't it Russian? I thought it was Russian.
I think it might be, yes, it is Russian, right? And the name of the woman that is writing is named Nadia. So they have a first name. Um, and Jimmy's just trying anything like to find out. They say that there's a priest whose name is Father Seal. That's a common name. Jimmy has like a personal investment in this case. Um, which I think makes him such a good cop too, because he commits everything to it. It's not just a job for him. But also Nikki and his wife are like kind of walking the dog. This is the first time we see them like together as a family, and Nikki mentions that like, hey, instead of like renting, we could actually buy a house.
Mm-hmm.
She mentions that he's getting some money, but he doesn't mention where it's from.
Of course
But
not.
yeah, of course. I'm just saying, like, all this money is coming from like this illegal activities. Uncle Frank isn't helping them out.
Right.
Uncle Frank's kind of being a dick, to be honest. He's kind of stiffing him and Ziggy. And so it makes sense, Nikki wants something for himself, so he's got to do like some illegal activities in order to get this like a house for themselves
Mm-hmm.
and even get married. And at speaking of like that case though, because like much like Jimmy, who's having no luck finding the identities, Beatty, Freeman, and Bunk are having no luck finding any information out. They try to interrogate Horseface, but Horseface knows his rights immediately.
I ain't going for shit.
Yeah, I like when they ask him like, why, how did you get a name like Horseface? And then Beatty says like, do you need a close up? Like,
You need glasses. You need
um,
binoculars. Oh, shit.
yeah. And they try, and like Bunk tries to be like, all right, come downtown.
I loved Horseface is like,
Yeah,
No,
right.
yeah, no,
No.
yeah,
He said, you want
yeah.
to lock me up?
no. Yeah,
And
they
Bunk
like,
tries to like get in the car.
and then this is when they realize that like the guys are smarter than they think, right? He's like, I got the union president. If you want to talk to him, you talk to him. You got a lawyer. We got a
Yeah,
union
right.
president.
He was ready.
Yeah.
And he says
like,
pretty smart for a fat man. And then that's what Lester says. And then Bunk is like, president of the Fat Man Club, like, slow down, I'm a fat man too, kind of thing. Like, I thought that was funny too.
Right.
Yeah, but these like instantly they realize like, these union workers aren't gonna. It's not gonna be like
Cooperate.
we say something and then you're gonna
Yeah,
throw everybody under the bus. It's not going to work
yeah.
that way.
Mhm.
And then that alludes to the last scene of the episode too. Like
Right.
letting them know, like, hey, look, we not going nowhere. We need some information on these 13, 14 dead girls. Like,
Hmm. Yeah, even they start to whistle when the cops would show up, which just shows like they're prepared. They get hassled by the police all the time, so they know what to say, and they know that the police aren't on their sides. That kind of speaks to like the people's distrust of the police, because it shows like as an institution it doesn't really work in helping people. It works for the system.
yeah.
They need to protect themselves against the police. um we also have like this. We also have Bubs and Johnny getting stopped by Omar. I wanted to mention it because I like this scene where they're trekking through the snow, and
Mhm.
Johnny's going on through about this like story about like this dude who had to raise a mute daughter. And
Mhm.
I always found I was like, damn, I wish I found out the rest of that story. I I'd like to ask Leo Fitzpatrick, the guy who played him
From
eventually,
Kids. You
from
guys remember
Kids.
Kids? You guys,
Yeah, it's a great movie.
yeah.
That's
I
a
think I've seen it, but I don't
fucked up movie. It's a
recall it.
phenomenal film.
Well, it was impactful for its time, and
Oh yeah,
it's
no,
not.
it's a great movie. It's one of those movies you watch and you need to like take a cold shower afterwards because
No,
it's
Leland
disturbing
said
and
he didn't
gross.
see it. I don't know if it
Yeah.
would be that groundbreaking now, before
Oh,
the
okay.
It would pretty. I think it's pretty. I mean, I saw it a few years.
Are
You
you
said
on?
you need to take a cold shower. Is it like crazy stuff or like?
I mean, it's just like disturbing. It's just like
It
it's
Oh
starts.
yeah.
It
gross.
starts off with Leo Fitzpatrick plays like a 17-year-old Telly who's like a playboy that these girls likes, and he likes taking virginities of like 13-year-old girls, like
Oh
talking,
yeah. No, I ain't gonna. I won't watch that.
hanging
Yeah.
out.
It's a phenomenal film.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
sounds. It sounds
it's
like. I
just
bet it's
it's just
well
kids
written.
hanging out, and then
Right.
and then you find out the girl has AIDS, and then she wants to.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
Spoiler.
Yeah. Nah. Yeah. Nah. I probably
That's a
never check
big
that out.
plot
it's a
twist.
30-year-old film.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
still don't spoil it.
Yeah. Nah.
But yeah,
I probably never. I probably never check that out. Yeah.
it's
but
not
but
for everyone. That's for sure.
but he also did say he wasn't going to check it out neither. Oh, but
Yeah,
Chloe Savannah, what's her last name?
Savini.
Savini, Academy Award winner, right? Is she Academy
She was
Award
nominated. I
for
don't think
Boys
she
Don't
won.
Cry?
Yeah,
Um,
she didn't win, but
Leo
yeah.
Fitzpatrick, Rosario Dawson's first name movie.
Mhm.
Damn.
Um, Larry Clark, who directed it and wrote Kent Park, which
Yeah.
the Ziggy starred in.
Yes.
Damn. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. So it's got some
Yeah.
history behind it. Damn.
He made the movie Bully too, which is like a great but
Oh
also
yeah,
really
Bully was a true story.
yeah, about Bobby Kent. Yeah, he's an amazing director that like a lot of
Controversial.
his very controversial, but I like the way his movies are very gritty and realistic and like depressing. But he is controversial because he films a lot of like sex
Kids.
scenes, and I'm sure all the kids were above age, but it's implied like child underage sex, and so it's like I said, it's not for everyone, but it's like if you're big into movies and you like disturbing movies, this one is definitely very well made. It's also written by this guy Harmony Korine, who is like very young, and he's written and directed a lot of movies. He made this movie. His most famous one that he made was called Spring Breakers with James Franco
Mm.
from
Okay.
like 10 years ago. But yeah, so that's a little wire. What do you get? 6 degrees of
Separation.
separation there. 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. But yeah, so Leo Fitzpatrick was in that Kids and Bully, and then I guess they saw him from there. Um, but one of the last scenes in this episode is McNulty talking to his wife, and she's saying like she's asking if he signed the separation letter, and he's explaining like his lawyer didn't want him to sign it because it gives her too much power, right? But McNulty's being a nice guy too. He's like he
I
uh
signed it.
he gave her like a Walkman, uh, that she's gonna use at the gym, And so he's trying to get
That's the Walkman he took from Bubbles, right?
Hell yeah, it
yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah. He's making use of it. It'd be funny if he explained that to her one day. Like, hey, remember that guy that went to Mikey's soccer game? Like,
Now, what if she was like, Jimmy, this doesn't work. I need the receipt for it.
yeah,
Oh shit, it'd be fucked.
yeah, that's true. It would be a karmic justice at that point, right? Um, but she's like, he's trying to make nice. She just wants him to sign the letter. But he says like his lawyer doesn't want him to sign it, but he signed it anyway because he wants to be moved on from the legality. And at this point, he wants to get back together with her. And they kind of leaves us in a limbo with this episode because she doesn't say yes or no. It just cuts it at that, which I like because it causes you to wonder like, oh, are they actually going to get back together?
Right.
When I watched this for the first time, I wanted that to happen. I think everyone, you want, nobody wants to see like a family split up. So as the audience, I think you're rooting for that.
Yeah, but like she said, she don't trust him.
Right.
And as we see when McNulty crashes out, man, that motherfucker crashes out.
She has a reason not to trust him. She is perfectly justified in not trusting him.
I was kind of upset that Beatty took him back at the end of the series.
Yeah. Oh, you want him to toss him out?
She loved McNulty though, but like he was wilding though. Season 5, like sleeping with the chick on the car, kind of thing. Like McNulty was wilding in season 5. Like that's by far his, like, in terms of how out of control he was definitely season 5. Like he was way out of pocket season 5. Like,
oh, for sure. So the last scene of this episode is with Bunk and Freeman and Beatty Russell going to confront the dock workers at the bar. And Bunk goes over to Horseface when he's at the jukebox and he's like, you better not play that country shit. Like he's trying to put some pressure on him, trying to intimidate him. Horseface plays his, he's got a great poker face. He doesn't even acknowledge Bunk is there.
Yeah. But he making it uncomfortable though. It's hella uncomfortable. Like,
oh yeah, they're putting, and Bunk is great at using his size and his like deep voice to his,
and the cigar smoke too. Like,
yes,
the cigar is like intimidating kind of thing, like mob boss-esque kind of.
Yeah, great acting here to show that like intimidation, that power that he can exude over, because we haven't really seen that from Bunk yet in this show of like a cop like using that to like over somebody. I mean, they did a little bit with the kids, not the like D'Angelo and everything, but they don't really use that much pressure on them because those are like very young adults to like teenagers. Here he's like facing off against like middle-aged adults that are all know their rights, so he knows he has to be a little forceful with them. And they crowd over Frank Sabaka, like all three of, because at first he sees Beatty and he's like, oh hey, what's up, gorgeous, then he turns around and then he's like, oh fuck these guys.
He's flustered too, y'all. Like, he's feeling it. He like, ooh shit.
He has a panic attack in this scene.
He does. He does a good job at hiding it, but the way that it ends with him in the bathroom, he's looking like, oh shit, I'm into some shit right here. Like,
it's he realizes that this was no accident. He thought, okay, this will just go away, but now he finds out that they were killed. He knows there's going to be more pressure on him.
Yeah,
and he doesn't.
They're coming. They let it be known we're coming.
It's also like he's just trying to drink, and then he finds out like it's total mood switch in like 1 second.
For sure.
So he has a panic attack, and like goes to the bathroom to like wash his face off, like figuring out what his next move is. And when he walks by, it's like that painting that I was mentioning earlier of like a Baltimore of what it once was, and what Frank wants it to return to.
Hell of a cliffhanger too, to leave us as the fans. Like, I love when we talk about, when we get to the end of every breakdown and we talk about like the cliffhanger and stuff. Like, that's a hell of a cliffhanger,
right?
Like, if we were watching this week by week, be like, well, goddamn, what?
Yeah.
What's happening next week there? Like, that's a hell of a cliffhanger right there.
That's why I think television is better when it's like every week is a new episode rather than all the episodes dumped at once because it is
I got
creative.
used to the binge watching. I got used to the binge
Well,
watching.
we're in the Netflix. I don't want to say we're in the Netflix era, but we kind of are. Like,
Some shows on Netflix or even like other streaming services will do that now. They've gone back to like we're releasing one episode a week.
Mm.
I don't know if
Apple TV does
Netflix
it.
does
Apple
it.
does that. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if
Apple.
Netflix does once a week. They might do like in
Mm,
parts, like part one,
Yeah,
these 6 episodes, and then part two will release on this date. But I
yeah.
can't remember the last time that it was like a episode by episode kind of thing with Netflix. Usually
No,
you get
Netflix doesn't do episode by episode.
usually you
Okay.
get the whole show. Like
It's like I mean I like a good binge too, but sometimes it's nice to just let things digest for a week and then like you get to like have that anticipation, where like fuck I gotta wait a whole week and
and,
I used to
and
call it like water cooler television.
Jesse, I know you haven't seen True Detective this last season, and Jack, I know you hate True Detective this last season, but around the time that my daughter was being born, that's what we were watching. So it has like a nostalgic moment in my head because we was tuned in every week for True
Oh really?
Detective, and we
It
were
brings you back
like,
to that time.
yeah, we were like, damn, it's weird. It is kind of weird, but all right, it's time for True Detective this week. Like we watched them all, we were
Yeah.
tuned in every week when it was released, but
You're
so.
spending all week being like, man, I hope they don't ruin this fucking show at the end and cause
It
cause
was
it.
it was weird, man. It was some good moments in there that I liked in season 4 of True Detective, and then there was some moments.
I liked when it ended. That was when I no
Yeah, I know
longer had to
you hate
watch
it.
it.
You hate it. You hate it.
That was yeah. I mean, we'll might do a rewatch one day of that,
Yeah,
just to dissect why it's bad. I'm not going to go on a rant now, but I did see a thing, a blurb about like Woody Harrelson saying that he would never bring back True Detective like the original actor, like the original cast members, because it's like sometimes it's better to just leave things out on top. It's
yeah,
like fuck it. If you have another season, it might not be as good. Um,
yeah.
you know,
And for people that don't know about Woody Harrelson, apparently this man is like I don't know what the right word is. If it's just an introvert, I think there's another level to what he is. I heard Kevin Hart talking about him one time. This man don't even have a cell phone. He
yeah,
like,
I like that though. I like his reasoning behind that because it's like he was saying like he's like I don't want people to have access to me 24/7.
yep. And apparently he makes his own water too, or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah. He's an interesting guy. He owns like
Yeah,
several dispensaries. Um,
phenomenal. That's a phenomenal. Like you can't reach this man. I make my own water. How do people
yeah.
even get in contact with him? Like I don't know. Like
You
it's
want
a,
to go off the
it's a
grid.
different level of introvertedness. Like that's next level. Like, but
Yeah.
well, good shit there, man. Well, Jesse, do you have your standout actors for this episode, boss?
Probably Chris Bauer, Frank Sabaka. Good start off and a good ending. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Starting off looking into the ocean, ending in the bathroom, frightened
Yep.
with water,
Right.
Flustered.
on
Having an anxiety attack. Yeah.
anxiety attack. I would say Frank Sabaka. I like Sandra Song a lot in it. With the and Lieutenant Daniels with the dinner scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay. Well, good stuff then. Well, Jack, we appreciate you so much, boss. Phenomenal job, man. We
You as
thank you
well,
all.
folks.
Thank you. We have a
Thank you
lot
to Miss
more.
Donna too.
Yes, Miss Donna, our resident appointed executive
Producer.
producer of Wiretap Truths. Miss Donna, please shout out to Miss Donna. We just
She's
released.
the executive producer if she wants the title or not.
Right. That's our girl there, man. Miss Donna, man. We love Miss Donna. So we thank you all so much. We have a lot more cooking to finish this year outside of the recaps. Like I said, we want to interact with fans. We've got some more Wiretap Truths concepts, random episodes that we want to release this year, and some surprises for you all on some breakdowns that you probably aren't expecting. So we appreciate all the fans, all the love, all the support. We thank y'all so much, team. Thank y'all so much. We'll look forward to seeing you all next week with some Very, very exclusive interview drops. You'll see them soon. Just don't be surprised if you see what you see. So we appreciate it. It's been Wiretapped Truths. Please like, share, subscribe, comment. We appreciate all the love, all the support. This is us signing out.